So afternoon, we're at Fry's right now and I need to pick up some groceries. Again, I really love the fact that Fry's has the pickup grocery thing. That's the best thing that came out of that whole COVID shit show. Things are good. Today is a beautiful day actually outside, even though, oh, my nose is cold. It's about 30 out there. But I just took Smokey for his walk, and that was really nice because, you know, getting him some sun is very, very vital. And of course myself, I'm sure. Let's see. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. There is a show on Netflix, and you know me and the fact that I watch a lot of shows, just the way that Dialysis is. And so, I don't remember what it's called. Shoot. But it is talking about taking identical twins and seeing what they eat, because basically their DNAs will be the same. So how they set it up is like they take the twins and they check everything on them. Their blood work, of course, their BMI, so many things like that, like thoroughly checked out with really cool scientific machines that not only check like BMI, because BMI is like mathematically figured out, and one of the specialists on the show was like, BMI is bullshit. For those who don't know, it's what is BMI? Your body mass index, I want to say, is what it's called. So basically what BMI does is it measures your fat. I'm thinking, isn't that right? And but that doesn't account for whether or not you have healthy fat. I'm sorry, I'm kind of watching to see if my person's going to show up with my groceries at the same time of recording this, and there she is, so hold on. Okay, sorry, that was my favorite guy that brings the groceries out. His name is CJ, and he's just always so nice and considerate. And he just remembers me. Like, who doesn't remember me, but still. Okay, so back to this show. They have these really cool machines that they measure everything about a person in. And I wish I had that available to me, because I would like to know the real numbers behind where I'm at. Anyhow, it's just fascinating to see how the twins respond to different foods that they eat. So the twins can't pick, but what happens is one of them ends up being basically carnivore and the other one ends up being vegan. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're vegan, not just vegetarian. And then they document, and I want to say it's like an 8-week program, how their bodies change with what they eat. So I want to say there's 21 twins that are doing this research thing, but they only zone in on like 5 of them. And it's so fascinating to see how food affects the different twins and why. Like one set of twins are caterers, and so the one twin has a really hard time with being on the vegan diet because she's consistently tasting her food, and how she struggles with not eating meat, whereas the other twin's able to eat all of that, you know. And I do think I remember how a set of guy twins were doing workouts, and that's another thing. Like, you have to go work out, you have to be measured with like how clear your mind is thinking, along with all these other tests, right? And the guy that was vegan was saying that he felt really tired, and the guy that was eating, his twin that was eating the meat, was doing great. But that might be just that set of twins result. So it's just really fascinating, and I forget what it's called, but it's a healthy, it's like a documentary, a reality TV kind of show on Netflix, and it's just super, super great. I would encourage anybody to watch it. They do talk about an issue that I feel deeply in my heart. I hope I don't cry. Because you know that I don't like to eat pork. And I just find it to be a dirty, dirty meat. And North Carolina, I believe it is, has the biggest pork manufacturing plants. And it's filthy. It's disgusting. And I don't know how anybody who would ever see that video would be okay being a human allowing that filth to be going on. And I know, you know, like the pork ranchers, I guess if that's what you call them, need to earn a living, but I really fully think there's other ways to make a living than just like that, because they've had to pay out, and I believe China now owns the pork companies. They had to pay out the people that live there millions of dollars because it's gross and disgusting, and the smell, from what I understand, is horrific. Because pigs poop and pee just like everything else does, but when you have a massive amount of that and they're having to deal with the massive amounts that pigs pee and poop, then it's horrific. And so my heart goes out to those people, because they should not have to live that way. We should not be that dependent on that kind of shitty food to live that way. And I remember watching a documentary probably about 5 years ago where this little grandpa was like, please stop eating bacon. If everybody just stopped eating bacon, our lives would change. And I feel like it's just this big secret that people don't really want to talk about, or maybe there's so much stress in the world you don't really want to talk about it, but it's still there. It doesn't go away just because we don't talk about it. And so I've always thought of that man and how he was living such a hard life, because that's where he lived, and it was tremendously disgusting to smell the odors of the pig. And they do touch on that. They do touch on chicken farms, which are also pretty horrific, and then also cattle farms, or not even farms, like large cattle meat producing businesses. And again, I'm not here to say I hate meat, because I'm a girl for steak. I need it. I need the iron. So I don't really know what the answers are for all of it, but when you watch these shows, at least when I watch them, I try to keep in mind that I try to keep an open mind so that I'm not like emotionally charged up by going one direction or another. And I really feel like this show was really good and informative about both sides. You know, they do show that vegan foods are coming a long ways from when they first started out, and the different alternatives you have for eating the different foods and styles of foods that they are making. I've eaten vegan hot dogs before, and I liked them. I thought they were okay. I did not like the vegan cheese, and I did not like the vegan style of beef I had one time. That was a little difficult, but one of the girls that was cooking it said that you really have to spice things up when you're cooking vegan, because your mind naturally thinks, you know, like, oh, a hamburger, and it's not. So you need to treat it special with extra seasonings. So I'm not anti-vegan. I think like probably a year ago, I would probably be like, ew, I would be probably anti-vegan, because I'd be like, well, my thing is this. I'm not anti-vegan. I'm just concerned with what chemicals they're using to make the vegan food with, just like I would be with any other food that is being created. Sometimes when labels say things like, I used to eat spinach tortillas, because in my head and the packaging, it was like, here is a healthy alternative to regular tortillas. Well, the reality is that there's so little spinach in that tortilla, it shouldn't even be labeled that. 2, it's made with tons of vegetable oil, which we all know is garbage. And 3, it's a big money business to try to trick us into eating chemicals. And so I no longer eat that. I just eat regular tortillas that are made straight from how you make them. And I feel like that's a healthier decision than to go 300% the other way. But again, I think that eating vegan, eating vegetarian, or eating carnivore, it's all in moderation. So I don't know. Anyways, I just really like that show because it was 2 people who were set up in 2 different styles of diet, and seeing how their bodies reacted. And I think what everybody assumed was that on the one side, like say the vegans, it was going to be like, oh, the vegans part was terrible, or the carnivore part was terrible. It was almost like you felt like there should be sides. But I really feel like this program didn't create that. Although I don't know how we fix it. I don't know how we fix that chicken farming isn't a billion chickens shoved into a big warehouse. I don't think that's humane and good. But at the same time, I'm picking up groceries from Fry's. And I know how expensive dang groceries are. Like for a pound of beef right now, for ground beef at Fry's, it's almost $7 for 1 pound. So I don't know what the answer is. There's a theory that if they make the meat prices higher, then people will go to vegetarian or vegan because they can't afford the beef. And that makes people who are, say, carnivore diets upset because they're like, that's so unhealthy. You know, I have a lot of carnivore friends who don't eat vegetables because, and they have like researched the vegetable and said this is what it does to our bodies and why we shouldn't eat it. And it's just fascinating. So I think overall, whatever you're eating, maybe take a minute and stop and look at what it actually is. And then you're just going to have to decide for yourself. With kidney disease, I examine a lot of things because I just don't want to fill my body with garbage. And I always know when I have. But it's so hard and it's so easy to just run out there and grab a burger. And then, of course, there's the fries. Understand how it must feel when you work full time, because that was me, single mom, running home, trying to get dinner ready, get the dishes done, got to do the laundry, make sure the kids are, okay in bed, homework done, all that stuff. I know it's a lot of work. It's hard. But I also know that a little bit of effort goes a long ways. So we'll see what I find on TV today. All right. Drink your water, drink your tea, drink your coffee, whatever it takes to get in some of that liquid. So I guess my biggest thing is just to encourage you to look at what you're eating, whether you're on dialysis or not, and kind of start taking notes, or mental notes, to see like, oh, I did not feel good after that. I felt sluggish, or I felt worn down, but when I ate this, I felt really good, and I felt energized. Just little tweaks like that, I think, can help us overall feel better, and then in the long run, it just helps us anyway. So, all right, I'll talk to you later. Have a good day. Bye-bye.